That last clip you saw was actually from live, because I wanted to show you that it's not just all of the crazy buffs that from Season 5 that Sever is getting that's making the build so powerful. I've been able to take Sever up to pit 125 on live, making it the third highest non-minion clearing build in the game for the Necromancer, and it's only going to get stronger in Season 5. Now, just as a disclaimer, all of the footage you'll see in the background are going to be from pit 101s. The pits on the PTR are bugged with its progression bar, which makes it not worth pushing in. But again, I've been able to push up to pit 125 with Sever without these buffs, so this build is extremely strong at pushing, and it's only going to get better in Season 5. So let's take a look at what's going on. So first up, we have to talk about Crown Evolution. This item is insane. Mine is only at a 13% damage multiplier, but when you get this at a max roll, that is the equivalent of 125% damage multiplier when fully stacked. Now, the essence cost increase is a bit brutal, but we've completely fixed that in the build. So in our chest, we're running Shielding Storm, and most importantly, we're running Essence per second. This, when paired with Ring of Starlit Skies, completely fixes the essence cost issues with the build. And with it, we are running Maximum Life, Intelligence, Maximum Life Temper, and Corpse Tendril Size Temper. Now, the Corpse Tendril Size Temper is one of the most important parts of the build, so make sure you're getting 2 rolls of it in the build. So, next up in our gloves, we're running Attack Speed, Critical Strike Chance, Ranks to Sever, Curse Duration, Damage Percent, and Aspect of Blighted. Now, I do not recommend Curse Duration on this build. What I would recommend instead is you pick up Lucky Hit Chance to Freeze or Lucky Hit Chance to Stun. The reason for this is in Season 5, Sever got a buff to its Lucky Hit Chance. This, when combined with these tempers, lets you stagger a boss much quicker. So, next up in the pants, we have Hardened Bones with Intelligence, Maximum Life, Maximum Armor, Maximum Life Temper, and the second Corpse Tendril Size Temper. Now, I have GA Armor in my pants, which is letting me hit the armor cap. If you do not have the greater affix roll, you can instead opt for the Defense Percent Temper, or you can pick up Spiked Armor in your skill tree, or pick up more armor in the Paragon. However you want to do it, you just want to be able to hit this armor cap. And then next up we have Flicker Step. Now, I absolutely love Flicker Step on this build, even though it's not something that you normally see on Necromancer builds. Not only is this giving damage reduction from close, which is where you want your Masterworks to hit, it is also giving you 100% uptime on Bone Storm, which is very important in this build as you are a melee build. And to be able to jump into big elite packs, you need your Bone Storm up. This is a very integral part of the build, and I would not recommend playing it without it. And then in our 2H, we have Aspect of the Damned with Intelligence, Maximum Life, Life on Hit, Damage to Close, and chance for Sever projectiles to cast twice. Now, something I want to make note of is Life on Hit, because it is a very important stat for the build. This is because when you double proc Sever, you're going to hit 8 different times per Sever, and each one of those 8 hits will independently proc Life on Hit. And because of the healing received that we get from our willpower from our Paragon, it means every single Sever that double cast is going to heal us 671 HP. And this is important not only because it lets us tank big elite packs because it is healing received per enemy hit, it also helps us in boss fights because potion economy in big pushes is very important. And if Life on Hit can save you 2 or 3 potions, that can be the difference between being able to push a floor and not being able to push a floor. And then we have the most important part of the build, which is Ring of Starlit Skies, because not only is it a 50% damage modifier, it also fixes all of our essence cost issues, which, if you remember from Crown Evolution, is a big part of this build. So having Ring of Starlit Skies is really what makes this build work, and I would not recommend playing Sever until you get Ring of Starlit Skies. It is that strong. And in our other ring, we have Sacrificial Aspect with Intelligence, Maximum Life, Attack Speed, Ultimate Cooldown Reduction, and Damage Percent. Now, with the sacrifice choices that we have from our Book of the Dead, this is the equivalent of a 42% damage modifier. And the other important part about this ring to take note of is the attack speed. Because we don't have a lot of places to put attack speed on the build, we want to maximize the places that we can. So try to get a greater affix of attack speed with as many masterworks as you can to hit the attack speed breakpoints. And then lastly, we have Grasping Veins on our necklace with cooldown reduction, ranks to gloom, ranks to amplified damage, movement speed, and ultimate cooldown reduction. Now, you can use the new Lochran's Talisman as a stand-in for this amulet, but when you get an amulet that's this good with double masterworks into gloom, this ends up being a little bit better because you get the extra cooldown reduction and you get the extra movement speed and the damage is about similar. So if you don't have this kind of amulet, Lochran's Talisman is very good, but the end goal is to try to get an amulet like this. Alright, starting our skill tree, we're taking 2 points in Reap to move down our skill tree. We're maxing out our Sever and picking up Imperfectly Balanced to give us a big damage multiplier on it. We're picking up Hued Flesh for the Corpse Generation, picking up Blood Mist all the way up to the Corpse upgrade, which is going to help us with big elite pulls. We're picking up Corpse Explosion with the Miasma upgrade. This is going to help stack our Shadow Blade as well as pick up our damage modifiers like Fueled by Death and Flesh Eater. Moving on from that, we're taking 3 points in Death's Embrace, 3 points in Amplified Damage, pick up Decrepify, and 2 points in Death's Approach. Now, Death's Approach is really a free slot. You can, if you don't have the armor cap yet, you can slot these into Spiked Armor and it works great. Moving on from that, we're only picking up 1 Corpse Tendrils. This is because we don't need the Vulnerable upgrade because we're already getting it from our Sever upgrade, so we can save 2 points there. After that, we're taking 3 points in Necrotic Carapace for the Fortify, 1 point in Reaper's Pursuit, 3 points in Gloom, and 3 points in Terror. After that, we're taking 3 points in Standalone, which is going to give us a lot of damage reduction, 3 points in Memento Mori, which is further going to increase our sacrifice bonuses. We're taking Bone Storm, and finally, we're taking Shadow Blight. Alright, and so for our Book of the Dead, we have Skeletal Reapers for the extra shadow damage, we have Iron Golem for the extra critical strike damage, and we have Cold Mages for the extra vulnerable damage. Now, if you are struggling with essence issues because you're still putting the build together, you can go for the Shadow Minions, and this is going to give you essence regeneration, and it's also going to give you a little bit extra max mana. This is going to help keep your essence up if you're struggling, but ideally you'd get to the point where you can run Cold Mages instead, because this build, when fully built, does not have essence issues. Now with the Paragon, we're actually doing something really interesting. We're doing an 8-glyph rush board, which is something Macro showed me a few days ago, and I absolutely loved it, so shoutouts to him. We're basically just skipping everything and going for as many glyphs as we can, only stopping for the legendary nodes and some HP nodes along the way. The reason for this is because thanks to the new temper system, we get so much additive damage that the additive damage that we can pick up from our Paragon just don't add meaningful amounts of damage. And crit-based shadow builds have some of the best glyph choices to choose from, so we're going to do whatever we can to maximize the amount of them that we can get. Now, there are a lot of glyphs to go over, so I'm going to go through them really fast. So starting in the starting board, we have Gravekeeper, and then we move up and pick up Essence, where we pick up the maximum HP, move over to the left and pick up Abyssal, we come up and we pick up Sacrificial, picking up Flesh Eater, we come over here, we pick up Scented Death, and then we also take another HP node here. We slot an Amplify, and then come over to the right where we pick up more HP and we pick up Exploit. After that, we come up and we pick up Scourge, and then lastly, we take Control. Now, there's one very important mechanic I want to end on, which is not only going to exponentially increase your damage, but it's also going to help solve all of the essence issues. And that's being able to weave Corpse Explosion between your Sever casts to activate Flesh Eater and Fueled by Death without losing any Sever uptime. So let me show you how to do it. So you can see, this is about as fast as I can spam Sever, but when you time your Corpse Explosions between your casts, you're actually able to cast Corpse Explosion between your casts without losing any uptime. And you can see, I've already proc Flesh Eater without stopping Sever. And without this mechanic, what you'd have to do is when your Flesh Eater falls off, you'd have to stop spamming Sever and just start spamming Corpse Explosion until it comes back online, and then start again. Doing it this way between your casts is an exponential damage increase, and it also helps keep consistent essence uptime. Both these mechanics are very important, and I'd recommend learning this. And yeah, that covers just about everything for the video. This is my first video guide, and I'm really looking forward to posting more content here in the future. So if you like my content or have any comments about the build or the video quality, let me know in the comments because I'll be reading as many as I can. Hope you guys have an amazing day.